Again, good afternoon. We're now joined by Georgia Tech student athlete Kiera Fletcher. Kiera, good morning. Excuse me, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, we're going to start with question, and our first question comes from Brandon.
Hey, Kira, this is Brandon Fudge with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I wanted to ask you about Lorella Kubai and her play as of late. First off, I mean, how much does her emotion help you guys on the floor and her willingness to win and dominate? And then also, do you feel like that you are playing with a WNBA caliber type of athlete in her?
Definitely. I think Lo, she's a pro. The emotion that she comes with every day, we feed off of it. She drives our energy. She's just an emotional player, and when she leads us in that way, we're a very hard team to beat.
Kiera, can you talk a little bit about what the off day was like for you guys? Like, what's that process? What are you all doing in your off day?
In our off days, pretty much, we're going over film. We're in our hotel, so we get breakfast delivered to us, lunch, but we go over film, going to our meeting spaces, because that's pretty much the only time where we can meet all together as a team. So in our off days, it's pretty laid back.
And our next question comes from Patrick. Patrick, you have to unmute yourself.
Hi, sorry about that. Clicked it and it didn't do anything. Hey, I just wanted you to talk a little bit about the foreign players on your team and the sacrifices they made just to even get here, and then how you guys as teammates have supported them this season, being that they couldn't hit family or cross borders or anything like that.
It's a huge commitment for our international players. I mean, a lot of them come here without really knowing English, and it's a language barrier at first, but we try our best to support them in any way that we can because they can't see their families as much as we can here in the United States. So I know it's probably tough for them that their families can't be here physically to watch the games, but we just let them know that we love and support them because they are making a huge sacrifice choosing to come here overseas for them.
What is the support system like? Do you have them over for holidays or what kind, on breaks and things like that, or how does it work?
In a normal year setting, if it wasn't COVID, our coaches do a good job of letting our internationals potentially go home for Christmas because that's our longest break. But with COVID, that wasn't really able to happen. So the coaches made sure that over our Christmas break that they had them over during Christmas and everything like that. So it was still a family atmosphere during the holidays.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
And we go back to Brandon.
Kara, so in terms of the South Carolina game, how do you guys kind of approach this in terms of wanting your run to continue, but not kind of looking at South Carolina and not being intimidated by their seed or their record or South Carolina's body of work?
I think we're going to this game, we're not scared. We're here for a reason. We're still one of the top 16 teams here. We're just going into that game with nothing to lose. We all have the mindset of why not us. There's no reason for us to go into this game intimidated or scared of anyone just because of their ranking or the number that they have in front of their name. So hopefully, it's going to be a great game on Sunday, but we're ready to give it all that we got.
Can you talk a little bit about what the tournament has been like? Obviously, this year is a little different than previous years. Let's talk about the dynamics of being in like one location with everyone around your teammates. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Personally, for me, this is my first NCAA tournament, so this is all I know, really. I know my coaches, they can only tell us so much of how it is regularly, so this is pretty much, I guess you can say, the normal for me. But we like it. It gives us a chance to just really be together since we are in a confined space, and I think during this tournament, we've pretty much grown closer just because we have to be with each other pretty much all day. So I think this is a great experience for us.
And Brandon?
Following up on my previous question, I mean, how important is it that, like, as guards, that you and Loyal McQueen and load my Latin, like, how important is it that y'all are performing how y'all are right now, that y'all are hot, going up against South Carolina's talented guards of Zy Cook,
I think it's extremely important.
Ray Bill, and all those?
Well, I'm sorry. I think it's. I'm sorry. Are you done yet? Okay. I think it's extremely important for us to continue playing well, because we're a team where we need all 5 players, everybody from the court onto the bench. We need everybody to win. So right now we're just in that point in the season where we can't really afford to have times where we're doubting ourselves. So we're just making sure that we're coming into this game confident, ready to shoot and do whatever we need to do to set our post up, to be successful, to make some plays, and just being able to be successful and hopefully get a win.
Kiera, can you talk about some early thoughts on South Carolina? Obviously, you've probably seen them play a time or two, and you know what they're coming in with. You've had a chance to watch them a little bit on film. But what are your early thoughts on them as a team?
They're a great team, you know. They're not ranked number 1 for no reason. Extremely athletic, can get anywhere off the dribble, they can shoot. But we think that it's going to be a great matchup for us because they have a high, heavy post presence, and so do we. So I'm just excited to see how that matchup is going to work on Sunday. But they're a very, very, very talented team.
All right. Are there any other questions for Kiera at this time? Oh, we have one here. We're going to go with Mariah.
It's Maria. Hey, Kiera. Good afternoon. You were talking about how you guys are not scared of South Carolina. What has Coach Fortner's message been to you when you're approaching someone like South Carolina?
Pretty much we're trying to focus on us. You know, there's a lot of talk on South Carolina, and I think we just can't dwell too much into the South Carolina talk and just remember that at the end of the day, we're here too, one of the top 16 teams here. So we just have to remember that we're a great team, and, you know, why not us? Probably there's a lot of people that are counting us out, but we know what we are capable of. So we're just making sure that we're coming into this game with a lot of confidence, and we're just making sure that we're portraying that in these upcoming days leading up to the game in practice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. If there are no further questions for Kiera, once again, thank you for your time and good luck against South Carolina on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will have head coach, Coach Fortner, momentarily. You can use this time to go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question for Coach, and we'll get going once she arrives. Thank you. Just a reminder for members of the media, Coach can't see who you are, so if you just say your name and affiliation so she knows who she's speaking with, and also just remain muted until you call upon. Thank you. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
We're good. We're going to start with questions, Coach. Thank you for your time. First of all, we're going to start with Patrick.
Hi, Coach. Pat Eatonrob from the Associated Press. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. Obviously, this year's been tough for every player and every coach, but I was wondering if you could address a little bit of the sacrifices that your foreign players have made just even to get here, even to get to the school, and how the staff has been supporting them since they can't go home, since their parents can't cross borders, and that this year.
Well, when the pandemic hit, they went home. So they were able, we were afraid we weren't going to get them back. That was the scary part of that, but we obviously got them all back in August. But they've handled it really well. I find that our internationals seem to be a little bit more mature than what their age tells us, but it's because they've been away from home, and they've been responsible for themselves since they came to Georgia Tech. So I think they've handled it beautifully, along with the rest of our players. It's been a group effort by not just the coaching staff, but by Georgia Tech, and I think we've done a good job handling it.
And how did you deal with holidays and breaks? And did you have them over to your place, or did the teammates take them in as family? How did that work?
Well, some players went home because they were close enough to go home for a couple of days, and the other ones stayed, and we did gather safely. But yeah, it went well. I think that we're a tight-knit bunch. We're going to take care of each other, so we made it work.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question comes from David.
Hello, Nell. This is David Cloninger from the Post and Courier newspaper in Charleston, South Carolina. I hope you're doing well.
Hey, David.
I know that you and Dawn have known each other for a long time. I was curious about the 2000 Summer Olympics when you coached her and y'all won a gold medal. What are some of the stories and moments you remember from being her coach during that summer?
Look, me and Dawn go way back. There's no doubt about that. But the thing that's most impressive to me about Dawn, and that'll always stick in my head, is just how incredibly competitive she is. And I don't care if it was on the basketball court, playing cards, it didn't matter what it was. Dawn is extremely competitive. But one thing that I'll always remember is after our first game in 2000, I think it was against South Korea, I happened to be one of the first ones back on the bus to head back to our hotel. And she got on the bus, probably the first player on the bus, and she patted me on the back and she goes, "Coach, good job today." And I was like, it just really went a long way with me, because as a head coach in a stressful situation as coaching the Olympics, you don't get a lot of pats on the back from people that really mean it. You know what I mean? Like the players, sometimes you can have some contentious relationships with them, but not with this team, not with the Olympic team. And Dawn was always very supportive, and I'll always appreciate that.
Our next question comes from Pepper.
Hi, Coach.
Hey, Pepper, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, I know you were one of the many people who are very passionate about the inequities of the men's and women's college basketball. So what are your thoughts on the NCAA's new investigation of these inequities?
I think it's very good, Pepper, and it's highly overdue. So hopefully it will happen. That's the most important thing, that investigation actually happens, and that we get some answers from it. We get some real cold, hard facts from it, that we need to understand what's going on in the disparities between the men's and women's games.
Thank you. Good luck in the Sweet 16.
Thanks, Pepper.
And our next question comes from Brandon.
Hey, Coach, Brandon Stabs of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So in terms of Lorella Kubai, I know the other night you talked about her kind of flying under the radar. In terms of her emotion, how much does that help you guys now? How has she stepped up her game during tournament play? And also, as a former WNBA coach, is she the type of player who's in a WNBA mold? Do you feel like she's a WNBA type of athlete?
To try to answer all of that question, I'm going to go back to the beginning when I first got the job at Louisiana Tech. I did coach there, so excuse me, Georgia Tech. Lorella has been the same from day one. It doesn't matter if we're practicing or we're preparing for a game. Lorella Kubai brings it every day. In the same way that you see her perform on the game floor, she brings that every day. So there's no difference in her performance in this tournament than there was in our very first game of the season. So that's just who she is. And she's an incredibly talented player that no doubt has a future in the WNBA when that time comes, and a strong professional career overseas. So yes, she has flown under the radar, but you know what? She isn't flying under the radar anymore, and we're well aware of that.
Our next question comes from Gillian.
Hi, Coach. This is Jillian from the New York Times. Kind of going back to the disparities here. I know you've been busy today, but we learned that the NCAA spent about $13.5 million more on the 2019 men's tournament than the women's. kind of hearing that, what does that make you feel? What's your reaction to that? And what does it say to you about spending and priority?
You know, Jillian, I'm going to be really honest with you here. I mean, of course, that is discouraging a bit, but I've really I've got to put that to the side right now, because all I'm trying to focus on right now is winning the next game. And so after this tournament is over, when we're, you know, when things have slowed down, I'm very happy to address all of that. But right now, I'm going to not talk about that, and as we continue on focusing on this tournament.
Sure thing. Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Next question comes from Andrea.
I hope I'm not piling on here, and this is going to be a follow-up to what Pepper asked. What actionable change would you like to see happen after this review?
Yeah, again, I'm going to go back to what I just answered with Jillian from the New York Times and just say I will address that when this tournament's over. But I really, this is all about the team right now and about getting these players ready to continue on down this path of this tournament. So I'd be happy to talk about that when we're done. Thank you.
Next question comes from Michelle.
Yeah, Coach, this is Michelle Vogel from ESPN.com. You know, it seems hard to believe now, but there was a time when Dawn didn't think that she wanted to be a coach. You know, she wasn't sure if it was for her. You knew her, obviously, going way back to when you guys were on the travel team before the '96 Olympics. Mm-hmm. Did you ever talk to her about coaching then? And did you think, hey, she really is, this is going to be her future at some point?
Yes, there were a few conversations. I always told her I thought she'd be a great coach, and she was always, no way, I am not coaching. Her answer was always very adamant that she was not going to be a coach. So when she took that Temple job, I was really surprised, but I was super happy because I think that, I mean, you just know when you've got great point guards, they have a great opportunity to really thrive in this profession. And so I was happy to see her take it and not surprised at her success.
And if I could follow up, you know, when you took this job, it was, you know, there were difficult things the program had been through. Did you realistically think you could be at this point this quickly?
You know, I didn't know the players well enough when I took the job, but I didn't really know what they were capable of as individual players and then as a team. So no, I did not. I was not thinking, hey, we're going to the Sweet 16 in the second year. But what happens is players, they either buy into you, they either accept the culture and they accept everything that you're trying to build your program on, or they don't. These players, they bought in from day one, and it's been a really fun ride with them because they're hard workers. They want to be coached. They want to be held accountable, and it's been a lot of fun coaching them. And they've been great leaders for this young class that we brought in this year. So I think those freshmen are so fortunate to have their leadership and their example that they set every day as we continue building this program. So this has been just a great culmination of their hard work, and being able to see it come to fruition for them has been really a joyful time in my coaching career.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go back to Brandon.
Coach, kind of looking at this game with South Carolina. So I've talked to a couple of your players, and they say Georgia Tech has nothing to lose. You know, y'all aren't scared of South Carolina, regardless of its body of work. How do you guys as coaches continue to instill that confidence and not get overwhelmed by a number one seed?
Yeah, I think you just have to talk about it with your team. I mean, this is the first time any of these players have played in the NCAA tournament. It's exciting for them. It can be scary at times. It can be, the stage is a big stage, but we've made it through 2 rounds so far. And so now the reality is, hey, we have an opportunity to play, to continue on in this tournament, and we're going to lay it on the line and see what it gets us. I'm just happy that they're getting that opportunity. But yeah, we talk about it, and yeah, we're not supposed to be here. This isn't where, nobody expected us to be here. We're just playing hard and seeing what happens through that hard play. And I'm just proud of them for being so receptive to, hey, let's just lay it on the line and let's go. They are a tough bunch, and we'll see what happens.
Coach, I have a question for you. You know, I know you said that you're not supposed to be here, but you are here, so it showed that your young ladies have played well the entire season. Can you just, looking at the matchup against South Carolina and thinking about that game on Sunday, what are your initial thoughts on them as a complete team?
Yeah, my initial thoughts are, wow. They are really, really good. They are good at just about every area of the game. So, you know, they're full of high school All-Americans on that team, and they've got the inside game, extremely strong rebounding, They're fast. They get up and down the floor so quick in transition. We're going to have to be on point in every facet of the game. We're going to have to be super tough. We're going to have to be focused and really executing well. So when I look at South Carolina, I'm just like, you know, there's not really many weaknesses in them, and we're going to have to be playing at our highest level.
Well, at this time, are there any other questions from members of the media? Seeing that, Coach, thank you for your time as always. We wish you the best of luck against South Carolina on Sunday.
Thanks, y'all.
Yes, ma'am. Once again, that concludes this press conference with Georgia Tech. You can find a recording of this press conference on NCAA Digital Media Hub. Thank you and have a good afternoon.